how often do timeline shifts happen? They've been happening a lot this year. And in fact, they started in 2019, at least where I was really aware of them and the messages that were coming through from the Council of Light. So, but they happen, they're happening more frequently, let me say that. So anytime you get a feeling where you can kind of feel the energy shift in your space, you kind of feel like, oh, something's happening here. Like it kind of feels like the energy slows down and you're paused for a moment and then you make a decision, and it can be an energetic decision. So what vibration do you want to be in? Or it can be a conscious linear decision where you say yes or no, right? So somebody asks you a question or you have an opportunity and then you say yes or no. So there's a lot of different ways to work with the timelines. I've seen some clients that are like still in their vibration. They're still in their soul vibration, but they get pulled into other timeline. I've seen some step off of their path for a minute and come back on, but you just think like the timeline can be, or your soul vibration can be like this, and you have a little bit of a wiggle room, and then what frequency do you want to be in? And as you lift your vibration, what I've been noticing is that really close, friends and whatnot have been around for years, and then this year it kind of faded away, and I was sad, but I understand what's happening. We're all flowing. And so in one of the last channel messages from the Council of Light, they were saying it's okay, it's temporary, like we all separate for a moment to go through and process and do what we need to do, and then we come back together again. And so that made me feel like, okay, there's, we can come back together again, and nothing major happened. Like there was not a falling out. It was just our paths took us in a different place, and then you kind of miss them, but And then the other interesting thing is in September, I had so many friends from years past reconnect again, like 4 and 5 years past. And it kept happening so consistently. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so synchronistic. So when you can see the higher perspective and the larger aspect of it, it's like we all come back together, so we do our thing and we come back together. And the nice part is when you know that you're talking about relationships with light workers, like your community and light working friends, it's so nice because we feel supported and we can feel connected. And even if we don't talk for a few months, or a year, it's okay, because you understand, like you can feel that they're doing what they need to do and you're doing what you came to Earth to do. So it's been a really interesting experience to actually see it play out. Yeah, love you guys too. And talking about my book, one of my friends who I mentioned I had not spoken to for a few years, we started to connect again. Just really interesting how it happened. But she just wrote a book, and it's the coolest book. Like honestly, I love it. You guys should check it out. So it's The Energy Book by Kalisa. And she's incredible. We took the Crystal Light Table training class together. It was a very intimate course. It was more like an apprenticeship. There were only 4 of us. And it was so nice and that was probably maybe 2014. So I can't remember, but she lives out of state, and then we reconnected, and her book is so pretty. That's the front of it. It might be flipped. I don't know how it shows, but it's so in depth too. Like, I don't know, I just love it. So I was really happy to hear that she wrote a book. I was like, oh my gosh, girl, that's a lot of work. But it's called The Energy Book and talks about all different aspects of energy work. And you can find it on Amazon. And if you go to Spirit School Magic, there's spiritschoolmagic.com, there's a little list of suggested resources, and I included it because it's so thorough. But yeah, so if you guys are interested, it's a great, great book. So Gemini, how do I know if I'm empathic or not? I'm just learning about the new era of consciousness, and I'm not sure what to learn and focus on. Okay, so one moment, let me see. Yeah, okay, I saw the other messages coming up. Here's the book again. It's called The Energy Book by Kalisa Augustine. I always say her name a little bit wrong. But it's awesome, and you can see it's a cute little size, but it's thick. So it's a great book. So how to know if you're empathic? Let's see. Well, okay, so empathic is very similar to empathy. When you say, oh, I can be empathic, I can feel, I can have empathy. But when we talk about it in the energy world of like what I do, you know, practitioner readings, connecting in with others, we start to feel energy of a space or friends or I find even when I was younger and it progressed that I would become very in tune to movies. It's like you can feel the emotions. So you can emotionally tune in, but you also can physically tune in. So if you, like when I'm working with a client, if they have a block in their throat, my voice might start to, you don't have to clear my throat. It replicates in my system. It mirrors it until it's cleared and then it's gone. But the part that can, I'm hearing conundrum, that's my team. The part that can be a conundrum is when you feel emotions and you don't know who it belongs to. Like you might all of a sudden feel sad and you're like, what's this all about? Why am I so sad? So then we stop and you have to go into a little meditation or quiet space, and first question is just to ask if it belongs to you. You know, is this mine or is it not? And a lot of times it might not be yours. So then you can breathe in light and push that frequency, just escort it out of your aura, and then you feel like yourself again. So there's a lot of aspects to it, but that's just one, is that we can feel the emotions of others, and often we get confused. We think it might be us, but it's not. We're just picking up on it. We're sensing it. And so meditation is really nice because it helps you clear it. And also sound therapy, which is funny because I just mentioned those are 2 new classes coming to the school. But honestly, that is what helps. You can do crystal releases if you are really trained in working with vocal crystal wands. Those have helped in the past. I've seen that. But I do conscious, intentional clearing. So there's different forms of meditation, and I work with guided meditation when I want to clear. So connect in with my angels and team. When I say team, I mean spirit guides, and pull the light in down through the crown chakra, or you can just breathe it in through all the chakras. You take a breath and it comes in, or you can pull the energy up in your feet from the earth, and then you just push love and light out, or kind of guide it out, and it can clear. So those are some ways, and I would say it's just about awareness and understanding what's yours and what's not, and if you're uncomfortable, how to work with that. So yeah, how to work with that, and then also having strong boundaries, because it can be a chore to consistently clear people's drama out of your life. So then put some boundaries up, you know, and if you have a close friend or family member that's actively working towards healing themselves and going through whatever they're going through, and you see they're working and they're making progress, that's great. Like, continue to be there for them. But if it's one where they like to create drama, because not to lie, but there are many who do feed off of drama. If things are calm and quiet, they're bored, so they create drama. Then you might just distance yourself a little bit or not be as readily available. So it's all about using the tools or the understanding and awareness in our personal life. And how do we do that? What does that look like, and how does it work? So you say, I get that all the time. You have to be grounded to know what's yours. Yeah. So yes. So come all the way back in your body, breathe, come in, go all the way down to your feet. If you can connect with Mother Earth, that's even better. Some of us don't have that natural ability at the current state. I do feel many of us had it when we first came into the body, but if we had a traumatic experience, that can detach you from your grounding. So just work to come back into the body, and then from there connect in with Mother Earth. So it's breathing and resetting. That's why when you breathe, there are so many benefits to just taking 3 or 4 conscious breaths. It resets your pH, it calms the nervous system, helps you clear your mind, and it's like a signal to your energy body, like, okay, we're gonna get a handle on this. Everybody, it's like if you can see all this energy moving around, it's like, okay, calm down, just calm down for a moment and let's get to the matter. Let's see what's going on here. So grounding within, breathing, centering, and then just asking, is this mine? Is this not? And often if it came out of nowhere, it's not yours. But if you were already thinking about something, if you remembered something from the past, if you've been having dreams that you felt were your own past lives, then the emotions can stir up, and then you can release those. So that's one of the aspects of being empathic, and honestly, it's a tricky situation often. But once you work with it, it's my favorite clair gift, and it's probably because it's my strongest clair gift. It's the one that I've had, my whole life, and then after that, the other ones developed. But I like it because I'm a physical channel, and I think that kind of lends to, and that's why going into channeling was smooth for me, because I'd already been working with energies and feeling them in my system when I work with clients. And by that I mean like channeling in Reiki or feeling high vibrational light frequency come in. And so there's so much to talk about, but if you feel really upset by it or you're struggling with it, I just wanted to share that it can become a gift that's really beneficial in whatever platform and way you want to use it. And yeah, so that's empathic frequencies, and then empathic clairsense, and that empathic clairsentience is the clair, and that is at the heart chakra. So every chakra governs or regulates one of the clair gifts. So typically when we work with the chakras, we'll start at the root and work up. And I'm excited to take Kat's meditation class because she's formal like meditation trainer, instructor. She's done it, in many countries and has so many, like thousands of hours under her. And I have my way that I, flow with it, and it works and I like it. But I'm interested to learn more ways of meditating. But when you meditate and you work with the chakras, then they're all going to start to open and strengthen. And so then your different clair gifts can ignite, and you'll find that it's very interesting, especially if you do readings or work with clients or do your own readings, like you draw cards for the day and stuff like that. It's really fun to see, and the energy, although it's a little hectic right now this year on Earth, it's still increasing. The frequency on Earth is speeding up, so it's making it quite a bit easier in my experience. And having worked with clients and students, I see that the ones who are just now getting into this work or just awakening, they're like popping into it so fast. I've been doing it my whole life basically, but I hit a second dedication in 2011, 2012, where I went back and did more intense coursework. And I've just seen in the years since then that whatever we put our intention to, whatever we're actively working towards and we're aware of, I just see that it's happening so much faster. It's just like a quicker process. So yeah, if anybody's interested in trying to activate their clair senses, I would say meditation, working with the chakras, and you can do sound therapy on them. You can do your own guided meditation. You can go see an energy therapist. So there's a lot of different ways to get to it. Okay, so hi Whitney. Is there a difference between empathy and a highly sensitive person? Yes, there is. So empathy, being empathic, is like you can relate to, or you can feel, or you can sense the energy that isn't yours. The emotions of another person or a place or an event, something that happened in history or earlier, somebody tells you a story and you start to feel it. So that's empathy. That's an aspect of empathy, being empathic. And being empathic, you don't even have to consciously know. Somebody could walk in the room and holy beep, beep, beep. You now feel whatever, angry, frustrated, confused, sad, jealous, tired, whatever, and they didn't say a thing. That's empathy. That's being empathic. Sensitivity lends to that, but it can be seen in other areas. So sensitivity is how in tune are you to it. So I'm really empathic, but how hard did it hit me? And am I aware when I trace it back, what is it to? That's where sensitivity comes into. So sensitivity is a gift or a skill or, what have you, a sensory experience that supports our empathic abilities when we are looking to purposefully work with being empathic, and it just builds upon it. So, but you also don't have to be empathic to be sensitive. Somebody could say something to you and it like really upsets you, like it hurts your heart and you're sensitive to it, or the emotion they throw your way, the tone of their voice, and that's your own emotion, So that can be your own response, and it's not necessarily that you're empathic. That's your own frequency that you're really hypersensitive to. And then also in the world of energy work, I'm really sensitive. I can hear when the energy comes in. I think many of you probably have had the downloads where you hear the ringing in your ears. But over the years, I can hear the different levels and frequencies. It's not always the same tone. And that's an aspect of being sensitivity. So they're different, but they often are seen together. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps.